So let me change gears a little bit. So as your career towards the end of your career, what was that last day like putting our uniform on for the last time? Did you have that bittersweet, or was you at the point where your body was so beat up you was like ready to go? So kind of walk us through that day.
That's a good question because the last day, the only person knew it was my last day was the NFL. I think it was my last day, but I can tell you that I knew I was coming at the end of my career because when I used to wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning to go get ready to go to practice, be sitting over there drinking coffee at 6 o'clock in the morning. Now in Tampa, at the end of my career, I was barely getting to the meeting on time because I just didn't want to get up. I was hurting. Um, Took me longer to get dressed. It just the passion was leaving, and I as much as I said I love football, it was literally just leaving overnight. I didn't know how to stop it. It just when your body just hurting and pain, it's not fun anymore. And and I tried to mask it, but I believe that's why I never got signed after 8 years because I just couldn't do what I used to do. So
Okay. So with
Yeah.
with that being said, do you feel that passion and that drive you had when you first came into the league, now you have kind of like revitalized yourself in your charity work?
yes, this gave. I had this question at breakfast this morning. To be honest with you, I said I'm beginning to live again. I'm beginning to have peace. Do I have ups and downs? Do I have days when I hurt like crazy and I have thoughts of I've had thoughts of sometimes suicide because I hurt so bad and and I just be honest. I go to counseling. I check myself into counseling just to keep my mind right. I don't want to be in a place where I'm at a I don't know moment. Should I go home and just take my whole family out? Do I just um, I don't want to be that person.
And I guess he'll be back on in a minute.
It,
You know, he having some technical difficulties. Well, military, those are some great questions you asked, and I want to get down to the nitty gritty. I don't know what type of phone he's using. It seems like he's using that teenage network.
yeah,
Oh, here you go. The shark is back.
yeah.
But
But yes, I have. I've had thoughts of suicide. I had thoughts of just taking myself out because I be in so much pain, and I don't want to. I always thought I don't want to put the burden on my family, be taking care of me, wiping my mouth, and I just had those crazy thoughts, and so I had to go to counseling for that stuff because um, and a lot of people say that's a smart thing you did because a lot of people don't ever go get the help because mental
right.
real deal because I have some thoughts that I didn't think I could ever have, and walking around the house hearing stuff at night, it's weird, but I go to counseling. I have to get. I need somebody to talk to. I need people, and I try to stay around positive people that make me laugh. You ain't gonna never hear me argue with nobody because it doesn't do me no good. Because I don't know. I've never been in a fist fight um, at 54 years old because I don't know when a fight's supposed to be over. I'm scared to get in a fight because my only way to think a fight is over is when you stop moving. And the last thing I want to do is kill somebody. But so I tell people just leave me alone. I don't want to bother anybody. Just leave me alone, man. Because I don't know. I don't know what's gonna come out. So leave me alone, and I'll leave you alone.
Yeah.
Don't bother nobody, man.
Yeah, we sure don't want to see the shark come out, and I want to ask you this here though.
Yeah.
Because I've been knowing you for your whole career, man. But I want to ask you, what are some of your highs besides your Super Bowl win?
My highs. Oh boy, my highs now is
No, I ain't talking about now. I'm talking about while you were playing in the league.
some of my highs.
Yes.
My highs playing in the Super Bowls. I just meet Michael Jackson, meeting Florence Griffin Joyner, just a lot of the stars. When people, meeting what is his name, Ice Cube, and knowing that some of these people was fans of mine. I didn't ever think nobody could be a fan of mine, that movie star.
Yeah.
And then when I meet some of them guys, they like, oh, it's a shark. That was those, and those are carnal highs, but the highs was to be able to have my family name in lights on a stage where I've picked oranges all my life, and now the Gant name was on the back of my jersey, where my whole family can celebrate.
Okay. By you saying your highs, now tell me, what are your lows while you were still playing in the league?
My lows playing in the league was missing an assignment. I didn't like coaches getting on me, so I wanted to do better. That if you wanted to see me in a bad spot, I was. If I miss an assignment, the one trying to miss an assignment, sometimes I'm going 100 miles an hour, and and man, these people, and they, I've had a couple of accidents. Waking up in the morning. To be honest with you, waking up at somebody else's house, it wasn't my house, and knowing that I woke up and I know I don't have a dog, but there's a dog over here.
Hey, well, because I done got enough of that question. I know about that one. So we gonna now. I want to ask you this here, and I know we have talked about this before. That when you became a free agent,
yeah,
did you want to leave Dallas or did you want to resign? Because I know that's the year that they brought in prime time.
Yes, I wanted to re-sign, but the bargaining agreement. There's another thing for young folks too. Get to know your business. Get to know the ins and out of the NFL. I've heard about the bargaining agreement at a young age, and we had some advocates like Michael Irvin turned his back on Gene Upshaw and said, "Man, what about the role players when this bargaining agreement come in? These role players like Kenny Gant, Tommy A.G." And I'm sitting in the meeting like, man, Mike talking crazy, man. But Mike was smarter than the average fifth grader, because when I became a free agent in Dallas, they literally told me that they didn't have money backs because they was allocating a lot of money to another position. It wasn't set for the defensive backs. And they got signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on whatever that was in March the 23rd. I signed with Tampa. I talked to management. They said we couldn't do nothing. I said, well, pay me what I paid last year. and they couldn't because of the bargaining agreement. They would have to up my money regardless. And when I signed with Tampa on the 23rd, they signed Dion. The Cowboys signed Dion the next day for $55 million. They had no money. DB.
They found the money, huh?
Hey. Yeah. So that was a low. I'm sorry, that was a low too. Finding out the NFL on the go. So that was a low.
So let me ask you this question. So in college, a two-part question. So in college, who is the toughest person you had to defend? And then we'll say the same for in the pros. And then the third question is, as a gunner.
Yeah.
As a gunner, who you hit the hardest? Who you made the snot bubble pop in their nose? Who you heard cry? Who you laid the leather to?
Well, let me answer that. My Sikahema. He was a punt returner from Philly. They had a double team on me. I split the double team, and it's a lot of my highlights. In the pros, and I say this, and it's rhetorical, but it is what it is. In the pros, I always tell people, and not to toot their horn, but I practice against the best receivers. But if I had to throw one out there, it was Jerry. But the Kmart, the Alvin Harper, and Michael Irvin had to practice against these guys every day. That just made us better, man. And I think I could give credit to them for being who they was physical. Kmart was a little jitterbug, and and I got cussed out a lot in practice. I got cussed out more in practice during the week than I did in the game because, and you can't tell the coach, man, that's Kmart, man, you cover. He just he give you that little shakes, man, and he gone. And I was that slot receiver, had to cover that slot. And then they moved me outside to those big receivers. They pushing off and catch balls on top of your head. It was just rough, man. And I never seen that combination in no game. So you may have one, but I never saw that combination where you got 2'6", Alvin 6'3", 6'4", Mike 6'3", and you got a Kmart about 6 feet, about 157 pounds, but just was fast and can shake and stop on a dime and change direction. I never seen a combination in one game from a other team at all. But Jerry Rice has caught a pass with one hand when I had him boxed against the end zone. And that's on my highlights too.
Oh my goodness! Hey, you know he keep talking about highlights, man. You know what? I remember back in the days, when I used to play, a lot of video games, and one of your college roommates always want to get Dallas Cowboys, and he want to pull you off the bench. He want to pull you off the bench and say, "I'm gonna have Gant guard your man." Hey,
Who was that?
we was going number fly. Hey, we were going deep. We'll go deep on you every play.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to, because I want to end it with this question right here for you, Gant.
Yeah.
Because I want you to let everybody know exactly what you're doing in the Dallas community right now.
In the Dallas community, I'm writing my first check to the family house. It's a house for battered women. I lost a sister. She actually was my sister-in-law, and she was murdered in front of my nephew back in the days. At 20, she was, and me and her talked. I was gonna get her furniture for her place when I when I got my first check from the Cowboys, she was murdered the first week I was gonna get my check, and so now I'm an advocate for women and men out here in Dallas that's victims of domestic violence. I had my first golf tournament on May 27th. It was a success, so I'm able to give a check to the family house here in the next week or so, where I can. I'm gonna give my first donation, my first check proceeds from the golf tournament to house some battered women and men and children, and so that's what I'm focused on right now. And I just got contact. I was the spokesman for the Special Olympics in Tampa when I was with the Bucks, and now I just got contacts to get involved with the Special Olympics here in Dallas, Fort Worth area. So I'm looking to do a lot of volunteer work because that's just where my heart at. That's God has humbled me to a place of humility, and I want to stay that way because when I'm
Okay.
low, I can always be lifted up. So I don't ever want to be high because I bring you down.